So one thing very important to think about is controlling your opponent. And the three main areas are behind the knee, just like wrestling, behind the knee, armpit to hip area, and then behind the neck. So with side control to maintain, you want to have at least two of these generally. So I either want to be cross facing, right? And I want to set it up to where I'm blocking off two different directions. So if I'm cross facing, right, now it's hard for him to turn into me, but it's easier for him to turn away, right? So I want to prevent him from turning away by either hooking the leg or keeping this underhook so that his shoulder and elbow can't get down and allow him to turn. All right, so you kind of think of this as a star, right? You got 2 points at the bottom, 2 points here, and then the top of the star. You want 2 of the 5 controlled, and you particularly want them to be opposite. So if his elbows are in tight and they come under him, it means he can turn in both directions. But if I get this elbow away from his body, and now that elbow is a stopper, he can turn away, but it's gonna be tough. And then turning in is gonna require him to bring that elbow in. All right, so turning in is gonna require him to do this to get it safe. So I think the easiest way to maintain side control is to get elbow away, elbow away. And now he's got 2 stoppers that make it hard for him to turn. He's got to bring them back in before he can do anything safely. If he tries to turn any direction here with the arms out, right, they get exposed. I get to step over, arm bar. Or if he turns in with this one exposed, right, I get to step over, arm bar. So just for control, all I need is two of these 5 points, right? So I can either keep the elbow controlled or the leg, right? But if I want to attack, I need to get in the habit of making the elbows wide. My first go-to. So what we're gonna play with today is getting those separate and then attacking this near arm. So here, once I get the side control, I'm gonna punch in, just push the crook of his elbow down, turn my hip, and start fishing this arm up my hip. And so as I pull this up, I'm gonna step behind it. So now, as I step across the space, sorry about that, sorry. I want to drop this knee and catch his wrist. So now I can start applying pressure. All right, this is gonna be annoying, but then I can come up and make it a finish. Again, I'm gonna block through, sit out, collect this elbow, and just start pulling up my body. And I wanna try to step to this side of his neck, right past his ear. So now as I apply pressure to this, it's gonna be mildly annoying. I'm gonna climb up, slide my knee across, hook his shoulder, and now
you don't have to fall back for that. You can...
Nope, I stay forward. If I fall back, it gives him an opportunity for hitchhiker. Stay forward.
That's a lot of pressure on my chest too.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, so play with that. This goes to what you were just asking. All right, so I broke this free, but he buried this arm inside and down. Right? He didn't try to turn away. He's just trying to bury this arm down. All right. So if I'm not feeling like I can get enough of this, I'm actually gonna drop my hip onto his tricep shoulder area and then wrap around on the other side. So now I bring my thumb to my hip on this side of his body. I'm gonna block this arm and I'm gonna sag down and away. So now I've got my shoulder basically center of his chest. I'm gonna lock my hands. I'm gonna pull my arm across his body as I walk my hips further away. So I'm gonna pull my arm across and I'm gonna walk away. So that is the north-south choke. So from the other side, again, gonna make him break his defense. This arm is inside and buried, so it's gonna be hard to get this out. So I'm just gonna drop my hip and turn. And I'm basically putting my ribs on the side of his chin. Turn his hip. So block this arm. My head comes down to his shoulder. Lock my hands, pull across, and then walk my hips backwards.
So your hands are locked up underneath there?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just locking my hands this way. Then I'm pulling across his body as I sag down and then drag away. Pulling across, shoulder, down and back. Best for the generation is just a simple arm triangle. So this one, I'm actually gonna be able to get inside of this arm. So same start. Right. Making him have to turn and start trying to work his defense, but I'm gonna drop my hip inside and start working this arm up. And as soon as I get it above his head, I'm gonna slide my knee to the other side of his face and trap it there. So now that arm's trapped, I'm gonna slide under with my free hand, come behind his back with the other, and lock my triangle. So, let me go this way. So, here, all right, I'll stay where you are. So, walking up. Once I get his elbows above his head, then trap, turn, punch through, behind, and then lock. And so from here, I'm just gonna rock towards his head to bring that shoulder down and then squeeze my elbows together. So again, as he's on the side, I want to rock forward to rotate his shoulder up and into his neck, because the bottom side is basically trapped through this triangle. So now I just gotta get my weight down and forward on his shoulder. So here, I'm gonna walk enough to get this elbow forward. Push through, triangle, and now my head and shoulder just drop his shoulder up and into his neck.